All right, I'm testing this out and make sure my microphone is working. If you are watching me, can you hear me okay? Go ahead and make sure I'm live on Instagram, and I'm going to do the same thing because I am not going to have a repeat of what happened a few weeks ago. So if you're hopping on, I'm going to wait for some people to hop on here. Morning, Pam. Can you hear me okay, Pamela? I want to make sure that my sound is working because I've had issues. I had issues 2 weeks ago, and I don't want to start talking and my sound not be working. So if you can hear me, if y'all can hear me, if you can just let me know that you are hearing me okay, so I know that my speaker is working. Give me a thumbs up. Give me a high five. Give me something to let me know that you can hear me talking okay. All right, come on. Stephanie? Stephanie, can you tell me if you can hear me or not? Somebody watching on Facebook. Oh, let's see. Leslie can hear me. Hector can hear me. Vicky can hear me. All right. We are in good shape right now because y'all can hear me. Happy Tuesday. I am just so fired up and welcome to Fit Body Secrets, where my mission is to bring you guys inspiration, motivation, and a ton of tips to help y'all on your fitness and your fat loss journey. But I am going to start off with a little bit of a reflection. How many of you guys were able to watch some of the CrossFit Games this past weekend? If you are a CrossFit fan or a CrossFit athlete, I hope that you did get to enjoy some of it. I will be honest, it was such a breath of fresh air to see the simplicity of just seeing basic fitness tested, nothing crazy out of the box, a lot of fun stuff. And definitely just makes you really just love what you do in the gym so much more. It's just so funny how most people will watch the CrossFit Games and they go back into the week and they're like, let's go, they're gung-ho. And I'm literally like, oh, I'm taking a deload week this week. But I know that my body needed a little bit of a rest, and it's like the end of the season for the Games athletes. So call it a little bit of a reset for me in my own season. So hopefully you guys got to watch it. I really was very happy with everything. With the Games events were awesome. I think the programming was great. The athleticism was awesome. Watching the fights to the end was great. And how about that Team Imam Co. and my client, Sammy Pugh, who pulled it out and ended up placing 5th in the team division. Super awesome to see them come together. And Hannah Hardy, my one of my assistant coaches, also on Team Imam Co. And of course, you got to not, you can't not celebrate the guys on the team because they obviously are half the team. But Josh and Jordan also super fit. Happy watching them and all of their hard work this season pay off, and watching them be so close to a podium finish that I hope that they do end up coming back next year for another run at a team together. But it was just awesome to watch. So today's episode actually was sparked. Did I spell that wrong? I did. It says can you accept your body and still want to change it? I think I need to fix that. This is what happens when you're setting up your podcast at 4:30 in the morning. But can you accept your body and still want to change it? And this topic got sparked in my Facebook group last week. I was asking if anybody had, hold on, let me just move my cat, who's going to definitely try and knock everything down. Get away. He's trying to knock down my light, trying to knock down my computer. But one of my old clients in my Facebook group had asked, when is it time to just accept your body? And it got me really thinking about how this topic is so controversial, talking about body positivity and where there is a line to be drawn in the sand about what is actually healthy and what is not healthy. And that comes from both ends of the spectrum, whether you're chasing extreme leanness or you're chasing just staying complacent with where you're at. And I want to really differentiate between what it looks like to accept your body rather than becoming complacent with it. And hopefully give you guys some different things to think about when you are trying to make lifestyle changes, nutrition changes, even changes to work towards different goals in the gym or, performance based, or even in life. Maybe it's chasing, a business venture or whatever it is. But really specific to those of you guys looking at, hey, my body is either looking and feeling a certain way, and I need to take the time to put in the effort to change it. But when is it time to just say, hey, this is the best my body is going to get, and I just got to be okay with that. And that's really what I want to discuss today. So if you do hear anything today that hits home for you, or something that you actually want a little bit more help with, always feel free to DM me. You can put questions or comments up in the comment section of either Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube. I may not be looking at them live because I am looking at my show notes, but if I do, before I close up, I always have some time for any kind of Q&A or anything, whether it's relevant to this topic or not. So I'll normally go back and obviously reference that. So let's just start by talking about body positivity. This is something that I have a very strong opinion about, but I don't want it to come off the wrong way. I think that a lot of people that are preaching body positivity come from the world of larger bodied individuals, for lack of better terms. And it's this place of like, you just got to love yourself. And they are 100% right. But I think that the problem with this mindset is that it means that loving yourself is allowing yourself to stay in a position where you are carrying extra body fat that could be at a detriment to your health. However, the tricky part of this is that if a person doesn't have a healthy mental state, their mental health isn't well, the way they approach dietary changes to improve their body often creates negative mental changes. So it's like the body and the brain have to coexist. Physical and mental health both need to be a component. And when it comes to body positivity in general, it really should be about self-acceptance. But self-acceptance should not be complacency. You know, being overweight at the expense of your physical health isn't okay. But, you know, sacrificing your mental health by doing things in an extreme fashion to get yourself healthier is also not okay. And it's just really hard because it's a tough place to be in when you know that you need to tell people that, like, hey, you are carrying extra weight that is going to leave you, you know, not being in a good place. In fact, a lot of women who struggle with like hormonal issues, it has a lot to do with their body fat percentage. And that's a hard thing because as a human, you hear, I'm fat. And it's not that you're fat, it's that you have too much body fat. And it can go the same way in the extreme. Somebody who's dealing with hormonal changes from being too lean can be a problem. And it's almost a double standard because it's easy for people to pinpoint and like, you know, I shouldn't say pinpoint, but point out the negative effects of underfeeding and being underweight as, oh my gosh, this person has like disordered eating and this and that. But what about the person who is also overfed and they're doing things in a detrimental way to their health by staying in that state, right? So it's a very controversial topic and a very sensitive topic because, you know, mental health and physical health have to coexist, but oftentimes the mental health stuff isn't worked on when trying to work on the physical health, and you have to work on both of them. So that's really, really important. Now, I also want to say that wanting to lose fat to improve your confidence, even if you're, let's just say you're not, maybe you're at a healthy weight, right? Like your blood biomarkers are good, but you're just like, you're not liking the way that you look in the mirror. You truly want to be more confident in your body, whatever you want to make happen. It's okay to want to lose body fat because you're not happy with where you're at. It doesn't mean that you have to do it out of a way of self-hate. You can accept your body where it's at right now and all of the things it's done for you, but you don't have to stay complacent with it. You can always be working to find ways to improve it, not just aesthetically, but also from a athletic perspective or an energy perspective, actually functioning better in your day, right? Like not feeling like shit about your food decisions all the time, feeling fed, you know, there's so many things that happen. So what I'm going to start with today is wherever you're at in your journey and you're hearing this and you're like, you don't know, like if you should be chasing fat loss or if you should be chasing like making body composition changes or maybe even weight gain. You don't know if you should be accepting where you're at. Maybe you're somebody that's lost a significant amount of weight. Okay. I want you to start by understanding that in the moment right now is the time for you to accept your body. Like you don't accept your body when you get to a goal. You have to accept your body now in order for you to reach the goal. If you don't ever fully accept your current situation, you will continue to stay stuck. So I want you to realize that your body right now is the accumulation of years and years and years of inputs. So, and I'm going to go into some deep stuff here. Like maybe you're a woman that's had 3 kids and you look down at your stomach every single morning and you see all of the stretch marks on your belly. That's really fucking uncomfortable. And there's nothing you can do about it. But guess what? That's a constant reminder of the 3 children you birthed that are now living lives and are going to make the world better by doing whatever it is they're going to do to create impact in this world, right? Maybe even the extra body fat you're carrying right now. You look down and you're like, I cannot believe I have got myself here. I am so unbelievably disgusted, for lack of better terms, with where I'm at. Maybe that's what you say to yourself. But why not look at the reflection of maybe the tough seasons that you got through where survival was like your main focus? Like, I've just got to get through. Maybe it was like losing a loved one, a tragic situation. Maybe it was, you lost a job. Maybe your job changed. Maybe all of a sudden, like, you had to give up training like an athlete, whatever might have changed in your life, right? And obviously food might have been not accounted for the way that it was because you were so freaking overwhelmed with something else. You got through a really, really, really tough time in your life and you're on the other side of that. And now you're in a place of reflection. You've got to accept your state now. Maybe the wrinkles on your skin, right? Like I'm also very insecure about some of these things, wrinkles being one of them. I just turned 40 and I'm like, God, like I went to, because let's be full transparency, I do get a little bit of Botox. I get Botox right in between my eyebrows because I had really bad 11 lines because I never wore sunglasses and was constantly scrunching my face. And those wrinkles, fortunately, I can do something about them. But even if I didn't, I have to remember that all of the wrinkles on our skin are a reflection of the laughter, the time in the sun, all of the things that you had that got you there, right? And then the biggest one, and this is a hard one, maybe you're somebody who's lost a significant amount of weight. I have clients who have lost well over 50, 75 pounds, and you look at all of the loose skin and you're like, there's nothing I can do about this. How about accepting the fact that you actually worked really hard to get to a place where you lost all of that extra body fat? And that is a reminder of all of that hard work. When I say all this on a deeper level, because these are things that we have to accept, right? If we accept them, it doesn't mean that we don't want to change them. We're just accepting them right now as our reality and understanding all of the inputs that have created these changes. That's what self-acceptance truly is. Self-acceptance is not complacency. And this is what I want to get into today. Maybe you're reading this and you're hearing me talk about this. Sorry, I just got to sip of my coffee because it's so delicious. Is maybe you're just like, I'm just not where I want to be. And I feel like I'm just stuck, right? I'm like, I know I'm not happy, but everything I try just feels like it's so much effort with little return. I can't stay consistent. I don't want to live this life that's constantly feeling stressed about food, stressed about my workout, stressed about my body. And you're like, when should I just accept my body and be okay with it? Okay. You're accepting your body right now, right? So you are somebody right now and you're like, I really want to change. You need to start by saying, okay, here is where I am. This is where I am. It's not where I want to be, but I need to get out of this cycle of like on track and off track. Maybe you're somebody that you feel like it just feels so hard for you and it's frustrating because it just seems like it clicks for other people. You need to get to a place of acceptance of maybe you need to take a little bit more of a slow approach and making smaller changes. Like this is the stuff that people don't think about, and it's why you stay stuck. Here's the truth. Like if you truly want to change your body, you have to accept it and you have to be willing to work hard for it. You have to be willing to say, like, I am ready to take the next action steps to make my next 6 months better than my last 6 months. And my next 2 years look significantly different than my last 2 years. And that is something that in the moment feels like you're literally laying a small grain of sand in the bottom of a cup that you want to fill. It feels so small. Every single day, every single moment feels like it's just so small. But right now, your body is the direct reflection of all of those small little grains of sand. The little grains of sand that you've been laying for the last 5, 10, 20 years, even going back to the positivity stuff. It's all the grains of sand that you've put into your brain about what you think you have to do in order to achieve a body that is fit, healthy, and functional, right? Like one that you can walk around and be proud of. Like, no, we're always going to have, and let's go back to this, like we're always going to have things that we want to change, all right? But if you truly know that there are things about your body that you are unhappy with, whether it's physical, like you see it aesthetically, or internally, like your energy sucks, you're feeling tired all the time, you know that something needs to change. You need to accept where you're at, but be willing to say, I'm going to do something about it. Now, the second piece of this is if you're somebody who maybe you have committed and like you're hearing this and you're like, that was me. I was that person, but I'm no longer that person anymore. I've made so many lifestyle changes. I've seen so much progress. There comes a point where there is diminishing returns. And this is where I always will remind my clients that sometimes chasing the last 5 pounds is a recipe for disaster that causes you to gain back 15. Because sometimes you're never going to be perfect. You're never going to be perfect. You're going to get to that goal number on the scale and you're going to say, maybe if I lose another 2 or 3 pounds, then I'll be happy with my body. And maybe if I lose another 2 or 3 pounds after that, then I'll be happy with my body. Maybe if I just do this, then I'll be happy with my body. There's always going to be this drive of getting better. And at some point that comes at a detriment to your health. So it's really, really important for you to look at where you're at in your life and how each thing you have to change to chase leaner is changing the quality of your life. If chasing, 10% body fat is your goal, but in the process of getting there, you're literally miserable. You're no longer living your life the way that you want to. You're saying no to every social event. You're bringing Tupperwares to restaurants. You're literally in the gym for 6 hours a day. You're doing all of these things and just to keep you safe. That is an extreme lifestyle. And if you're happy there, then go there and do that. But if you're not happy with that lifestyle, you have to think about the quality of your life. Okay. So this is for those of you at that point who are, maybe you're at a place where like you are happy, but you keep wanting more. It's okay to want to continue to improve. But at that point, you have to look at what improvements should be made to optimize and to keep you healthy and to work on maybe a place where your lifestyle over the next 2 years is going to continue to give you inputs that are going to continue to change your body composition. Like at this point in my life, every workout for me, every day for me with my nutrition is not giving me a dopamine hit. It's not I'm losing a pound today, or I'm gaining a pound of muscle today, or I'm getting this much stronger today. It's, man, if I keep doing this for the next 2 or 3 years, God, I'm going to look totally different in 2 or 3 years. I have proof of that because I've been doing it for the last 15 years. And I see how my body has changed and different things have changed in my life. So it's really, really important for you guys to understand at that point that sometimes you want to make sure that you're not going into extremes. Now, as I mentioned here, and this is going to go back to those of you guys that are like at that place where you're like, no, I'm definitely not in an extreme state right now. I definitely know that there's things that I want to change, but it just feels frustrating. I feel stuck. I feel like I just can't get my shit together. Here's a few things. Okay. Acceptance does not mean complacency. A lot of people confuse the two. accepting yourself and just staying stuck in bad habits, excuses, and patterns that are leaving you stuck is an excuse. Your actions need to come out of a place of self-respect. You need to see the changes that you're making as a way for you to feel like you are empowering yourself and treating your body with respect, not punishing it. And I see this as the biggest problem because a lot of people jump into fat loss phases and diet trends and different nutrition protocols in a place of desperation, right? It's like, I woke up this morning and my pants did not fit me and none of my pants fit and I need to change today. And it becomes this place of desperation and you're trying to do all of these extremes and that's where it becomes a place of punishment. I wrote down here, you truly need to treat your body like it's something you care about. I want you to think of your body like your child rather than treating it like a convict. Like that's the biggest thing is like most people, when they're trying to make changes, they treat it like it's a punishment and this is what you deserve for all of your enjoyment of life or having to deal with those hard seasons. And now you're in this place of like, I've got to be on this diet. No, it should be, I'm excited to fucking change my life. I am excited to no longer use food as an outlet. I am excited to actually feed my body enough. I am excited it was possible. Like you have to be excited and empowered and really care about your body like it's a freaking kid. It's literally, it's a Tamagotchi. Y'all remember Tamagotchis? Oh my God. It is, you are keeping that kid alive and thriving. You are the kid. You got to have respect and you got to care about it. You got to nurture it. And this is some deep shit. Like, I know this is not easy. And this isn't me just telling you guys, oh, like just, start tracking your macros and start working out more and start hitting your steps. Like, I know all that shit. But when it comes to making changes, like this is the stuff that keeps people stuck. This is the stuff that keeps people stuck in their head of contemplation and not getting anywhere. All right. So now you need to ask yourself these questions, okay? Are you looking to accept yourself and make changes, or are you trying to live in complacency and comfort? So if you're like, when is it time to accept my body? Is accepting your body giving you the hall pass to just say, I don't have time for cooking, so McDonald's and Domino's it is, okay? That's an excuse. That's truly an excuse. Are you into these patterns of, okay, life is really busy right now, so I really can't focus on making health and exercise and nutrition a priority. So I'm going to wait until life calms down and I'm going to start perfect. That's an excuse. That is self-sabotage. You have to recognize that a big thing that has to change in order for you to see changes is an identity shift. And in a lot of ways, that comes down to unlearning behaviors, patterns, and excuses that you have relied on for comfort and saying, okay, I am accepting this is my current state. Life is not freaking easy. I don't have time to cook. I might be getting takeout, but guess what? I'm going to bring it home. I'm going to weigh that shit out. I'm going to portion it correctly. I'm going to make sure I'm getting decent micronutrients as well as some macronutrients. And I'm going to call it a win. Like, it's learning how to navigate making health a priority without making it consume your life. That's truly what it is. You have to recognize that there are going to be identity shifts that happen that mean you have to let go of things that are no longer serving you. If you are somebody who eats out socially all the time, you're always meeting up for people for dinners, maybe that's no longer your norm. Like, that's a thing, right? Like, there's some people who literally just every single time they meet out, it's about the food. It's about the food. Doesn't mean you can't go out, but maybe you are choosing grilled chicken and salad because you go out very often. Maybe you are saying no more often and you're looking for other ways to connect with friends besides food. It's important to look at that, okay? Because right now you are in a place where you need to change, but it's holding on to some of those identity traits and those beliefs that is likely holding you back. It's not easy to change. Again, as I mentioned, like accepting your body is also accepting all of the inputs that you've had. You have the whole fresh start thing. You have no fresh start. You have years and years and years of accumulated impulse decisions that now are automated. You live in autonomy, and you have to break that autonomy, and you have to be in a place where you're like, okay, I'm going to change. But it comes down to doing it the right way. Okay. Now, here's the main thing. Your changes that you're making as you're accepting yourself should be something that creates excitement and empowerment, as I mentioned. You should be feeling like you're becoming more empowered, stronger, more intentional. And that's what's going to keep you driving forward. That's what's going to keep you from getting complacent. It's not looking for motivation. It's doing the hard things when you're trying to make those changes and recognizing like, man, if I keep doing this, this is really going to work. Like, you have to start to stack those days and watch it change. Your body is the direct reflection of the life you live, hands down. So accepting your body is accepting everything that has gotten you to where you are right now. It just does not mean that you have to stay there. You can totally make the decisions to say, I want to change. I am ready to do this a different way. But it needs to come from a place of self-respect, self-love, quote unquote, body positivity, and knowing that like it's going to be a journey that's going to be hard. But guess what? All the shit that stopped you from doing the things that you need to do to change your body were really fucking hard, right? Like most of the time, people don't just quit on themselves because it's easy. It's because everything else is so hard, and that adding one more hard thing feels really, really hard. You have the decision to make to say, okay, I'm going to take a different approach to this. I want to change my future, which means I need to change my lifestyle. I need to make these changes and be okay with these decisions and be empowered by them. I'm going to need to let go of things that are no longer serving me. I'm going to have to make decisions around food and nutrition and training that make me feel uncomfortable. But guess what? That's where growth comes. That's where success is made. And the best way you can make this easier for yourself is to never be the smartest person in the room. Like if you're the only person in the room who cares about your body, you're in the wrong room. And I'm not saying that you have to completely just, abandon your friendships and abandon your family. It means you need to seek out other people, other communities that are doing the same things as you are, that are chasing the same goals as you are. And I want to end this by just saying like, this cannot resonate with me more deeply than anybody could. I don't even know how to say this, but this is so hard because in so many ways, I spent years hating my body. And I have been as heavy as about 180 pounds and as light as 80 pounds. And that's a huge change. And let me tell you, on both ends of the spectrum and everywhere in between, self-acceptance is something that I've always struggled with. It is. However, in the time that I have spent in my life losing and gaining weight, the time where I'm at right now, which is I truly feel like I have a pretty healthy relationship with food. I've got a pretty healthy body. I feel pretty good most days, is knowing that I don't do it from a place of punishment or emotion. I don't act out of those things on my body. And that took a very long time to get to a place of. And it's not always easy. There are times where I'm like, for me, I will stress undereat and I'll, be unhappy with my body and I'll want to pull back on calories because of whatever I feel, but it's taken me a long time to realize like, this is the body that God gave me. This is my body. And I've got to treat it with respect because I don't get another body. And I want to stack habits that are going to make me feel better in 10 years, not worse in 10 years. I want to feel physically and mentally healthy and happy, not feeling like I'm constantly living in a prison. And if that's you're constantly in this battle with yourself, whether it's you feel like you can't enjoy life the way that you want to because you're hiding behind your insecurities and you can't commit to the changes, or you're chasing an unhealthy level of leanness that is so hard for you to maintain, and it's killing you with your connections with people or your relationships. These are all things that you have control over. And you can make the decision to accept your body and make changes. So I'm going to end today's podcast with a question to you to contemplate and ask yourself. If you are struggling to know if you should accept your body, I want you to ask yourself, are you afraid of working hard and showing your body self-respect? Are you getting complacent? Are you looking for the easy way out? Or are you somebody who should be really fucking proud of everything that you've done and where you've gotten to? And you know you do things in life that keep you healthy, keep you happy. And you just need the assurance that it's okay to accept that this is your body and you don't need to change a thing. And you can be happy to continue to make improvements in your life and do things that are going to light you up and empower you, but you don't have to keep chasing smaller. You don't have to keep chasing the last 5 pounds. So I'm just very curious what you took away from today's topic. I know it was like more of a mental thing today, but this was something that honestly just really hits home for me, especially with where I'm at in my own journey, because being an athlete and also, being an athlete, but also knowing that an athlete isn't my identity and my life is truly growing my nutrition coaching and helping other people, and also having a level of pressure about feeling like if I don't, in fact, let's end on this. Coach Cheryl's going to open up. So full transparency, something that I really struggle with and haven't talked a lot about is I started CrossFit in 2010, and it's been a huge piece of my life since 2010. I mean, it's literally all I think about every single day, right? And it's still something that consumes a lot of my thoughts, but in a lot of ways, there's a huge piece of me that is no longer all in on CrossFit as an athlete. And I am very much all in on wanting to be a person that's relevant to all of you guys out there in the CrossFit space who are looking for a leader to help you eat better and be happy with your body and know how to do it the right way. And I'm getting a little bit emotional right now. And there's a huge piece of me that has felt like if I'm not athlete Cheryl, that a lot of you won't respect me enough to know that I can help you. And I know that's so irrational because athletes are so selfish. I mean, being an athlete is a lot of sacrifice. And I no longer am willing to sacrifice what I truly feel pulled to do by God and in my life for athletic endeavors. And it's hard because I shit the bed a lot of times in my training and it makes me feel bad. But I have to really, and all of this to say that it's really hard to want to be, in fact, one of my clients I talk about is be relevant and feel like you just are trying so hard and you just want people to know that you're there and that you care, and that it just seems like the harder you try, it doesn't, you see somebody else that doesn't even do a smidge of what you do and they get the credit. And it's hard. It's definitely hard. And it's something that I have to often have talks with myself about, and knowing that like, I'm grateful for every person that I work with. I'm grateful for every person that reaches out to me on social media. If I've helped you in any way, I love hearing that, you saw something that I posted and it helped you or whatever. But, I have to realize that like who I am as an athlete does not define me as my skill sets and my experience as a nutritionist. And that is my full heart. That's what I love doing. It's what I wake up every morning now. I do think about training, but I get up, I work, I get my training in. And then during my training, I'm like, I got to do this. Like, I got to do this. I'm always thinking about what I want to do to help you. So, anyways, if any of this resonates with you, even if it's the identity shit, like, I'd love to know. I'd love for you to give me some comments, show me some feedback, send me a DM if you got value out of this episode. I'm going to hop over to comments and see if there's anything popping up in there. Larry, after spending this week in the games, definitely not loving your body. Okay, so I love what Larry just said. Larry says, after spending the weekend at the games, I'm not loving my body. And this is the perfect fucking example of what I said. When I said, surround yourself around people that are better than you, you will always feel insecure when you are, I don't want to say the dumbest, the person in the room that hasn't made the success happen, right? So being a spectator at the CrossFit Games and looking around and seeing the community of people that are like fit, even the spectators, how fit they are, that should fire you up to see that other people freaking care about their body, right? Like that's what I mean, is being in that environment should like fire you up and be like, man, I am ready to go home and go to work on myself, right? Like that's the main thing. You should have went home and been like, it's time for me to change. It's time for me to make a change. Not an extreme change, right? Like it's not, let me go on this crash diet. It's, let me actually learn a little bit more about what it looks like to live a balanced life that's going to make sure that nutrition and training are a big piece of it. And I want to be like those people. Judy Reed says, we rushed home so we could make the 4 p.m. class yesterday. I freaking love that. I love that, right? Like, and I know Judy, somebody who has worked with us and has made a tremendous transformation. In fact, Judy, I need to text you. It's been a while since we've chatted. I need to just have a little Judy chat. I hope you had a great time. And I love watching your kids grow. And I mean, Judy, perfect example. Like watching her kids grow up in CrossFit is so awesome. How much different would my life have been had I had CrossFit as a kid? And this is the stuff that we talk about. Think about those kids, how they're living their life at 15, 16, 20 years old, how different being 40 is going to be for them as it was for somebody who started CrossFit at 30, right? Like it's just so amazing. I love this. I'm going to hop over to Instagram here. Anybody have any other questions? Anything related to training, nutrition, life, or even this topic today? New comments. I love that. Oh, that sounds fun, Larry. Endoscopy's case is done. That's no fun. I forgot. I think you're like an anesthesiologist. Am I right? I can't remember. I can't remember what Larry does for a living. It's crazy that I would even remember that if I do. That's because I have a really good memory. But any other questions, guys? Anything? Nicole, I love this for you. I also want to be a good example for my daughter by making changes today. This is also a really good controversial topic too, and I want to bring this up. Guys, if you're somebody who is making nutrition changes in your life, all right, as somebody who has trauma from watching my parents and my aunt's diet, there is a very important thing you can do today to shift that focus. And this is just a great little topic that I can talk about, is it should never be about fat loss. When you're making changes in your nutrition, it should not be about fat loss, especially if your kids are not overweight. It should be about, I'm doing these things because I'm trying to make sure I'm eating enough food. So why, mommy, why are you using a food scale? Because I need to make sure I'm getting enough protein. Because mommy tends to eat too much fat and not enough protein. Because I need to start seeing these things. Mommy, why are you not eating the macaroni and cheese and the chicken nuggets with us? Honestly, I would really love for you guys to start eating more of this types of foods, but I know that's really hard. These types of foods have a lot more nutrients in them. There's nothing wrong with those types of foods. Mommy feels better eating these kinds of foods. Maybe you should try eating some of these kinds of foods. Like, it's never about the removal or like the diet for kids. In fact, like if people realize that even tracking macros isn't about fat loss, I keep track of my macros, but I'm not trying to lose weight, right? Like, so athletes keep track of their macros, but they're not trying to lose weight. Even, oh God, even people that say that they don't track their macros are still tracking their fucking macros. And I'm not going to name any names, but you'll know because they talk about the Danielle Brandon blueprint all the time and how she doesn't track macros, but they track macros. They do. So just my little tangent there, talking about being relevant in the CrossFit space. All right. Any other questions or topics or anything for today? Nothing else going on? Any of you guys going to be doing any of the CrossFit Games workouts this week? I know that they're programmed on my training program, but like I said, I'm taking a deload week this week, so I probably will not be hitting them. I mean, I do want to hit a few of them. I really want to do, they all look really, really fun. So I do want to hit some of them. Any other questions? Comments? All right. I'm going to sign off then. If y'all need me, you know where to find me. Hopefully this episode was helpful. Until next week, I'll talk to you guys later.